Let's talk about something huge: trust in AI. Get this, only about a third of people actually trust the AI that's increasingly making decisions for us. We're talking about everything from job applications to medical diagnoses. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into why that trust gap is so massive and, more importantly, how we can start to fix it. So let's make this real for a second. Think about the last time a streaming service recommended a movie or your map app rerouted you around traffic. That's all AI. Now, be honest with yourself. How much do you really trust the code making those calls for you? Well, the answer from most people is kind of shocking. It turns out only 35% of us really trust AI. That is a staggeringly low number, and it just goes to show what a massive challenge we have on our hands as this tech becomes, part of everything. And just so you know, this isn't some random number. It's from serious research by Accenture. Just over a third of people worldwide are comfortable with how companies are using AI. That's not just a small concern. That's a huge flashing signal that we need to do better. This is what we call the AI trust gap. And look, this is way more than just a public relations issue. If people don't trust it, they won't use it. It's probably the single biggest roadblock to unlocking all the amazing things AI could do for us. So, the big question is, how do we build that bridge across the trust gap? Well, the answer lies in a concept called responsible AI. Think of it as a blueprint for building AI that's not just powerful, but also safe, fair, and, well, human. Okay, so let's get a really solid definition here. Responsible AI is basically a set of ground rules. It's a collection of principles that guide how we design, build, and deploy these systems so that we're actively building trust, heading off risks before they happen, and making sure the technology is actually aligned with our values. So what does this framework actually look like in practice? Well, it's really built on 5 core ideas, which we're going to call the 5 pillars of trust. These are the absolute must-have foundations for any AI system that we're expected to rely on. And here they are. This gives you a great bird's-eye view of the 5 pillars. We've got explainability, fairness, robustness, transparency, and privacy. Now let's break down each one, because this is where the magic really happens. First up, explainability. This is all about tackling that classic black box problem, where an AI gives you an answer, but you have zero clue how it actually got there. See, it's not good enough for an AI to just be right. We have to know why it's right. That means we need to be able to trace its logic, see the data it used, and basically understand its thought process. Without that, trust is pretty much impossible. Okay, let's move on to the second pillar, and this one is absolutely huge: fairness. AI systems learn from data, and if that data is full of human bias, which, spoiler alert, it often is, the AI can become a machine for scaling up that bias in a really dangerous way. So, fairness in AI means making sure the system doesn't accidentally punish certain groups of people. For example, if you train a hiring AI on data from a company that historically only hired men, it might learn to automatically reject amazing female candidates. That's why building with diverse data and smart, bias-aware algorithms is so critical. Our third pillar is robustness. This is all about making sure the AI is tough. It needs to be secure, reliable, and not just completely fall over the second it sees something it wasn't expecting. Think of robustness as the AI's immune system. It has to be strong enough to fight off malicious attacks from hackers, but also flexible enough to handle weird, unexpected data without spitting out harmful or just plain wrong results. For any critical system, this is a total non-negotiable. All right, pillar number 4 is transparency. Now, hang on a second. You might be thinking, doesn't that sound exactly like explainability? And that's a great question, but there's a really key difference here. So here's the difference. If explainability is about understanding a single decision, transparency is about understanding the entire system. It means being open about what data the model was trained on, how it was tested, and crucially, what its blind spots and limitations are. It gives you the full picture so you can decide if it's even the right tool for your problem. And last, but certainly not least, we have privacy. I mean, we live in a world where data is everything, right? So protecting our personal information is more important than ever. And AI introduces some really unique and tricky challenges. Now, this is where it gets a little bit wild. A trained AI model can sometimes accidentally memorize and then reveal sensitive, private data it was trained on. It's like it has a photographic memory it wasn't supposed to have. This is a huge risk, and it's why we need really strong AI-specific privacy protections in place. Phew, okay. So we've got our 5 pillars: explainability, fairness, robustness, transparency, and privacy. They sound great on a slide, but how does a company actually make this stuff happen in the real world? Let's talk practice. Look, this isn't some checklist you can just breeze through. It's a total culture shift. It all starts with defining what your values are and then training everybody, and I mean everybody, on what they mean. Then you have to weave those principles into every single part of the development process. And this is key. Always, always keep a human in the loop for the really important decisions. And that really brings us to the bottom line. Building AI we can trust isn't just a job for the coders and the data scientists. It's a fundamental challenge of leadership. It takes a real commitment, right from the very top, to guide this technology in a direction that benefits all of us. And this is a great visual of what that kind of leadership looks like. It's about thinking through the entire life cycle of a product, from the very first idea scribbled on a whiteboard to the final launch. It's about baking these principles of trust in from day one. It can't be an afterthought. It has to be the whole point. You know, if you want to really master this kind of strategic thinking and learn how to lead AI product development responsibly, I can't recommend the AI Product Management Playbook by Deepak Deo enough. It is an absolutely incredible resource for anyone who's serious about building our future with technology the right way. Thanks so much for tuning in.